Did you make a New Year's resolution to write a children's book? I'm recording this on New Year's Day. I hope you had a great time last night, whether you went out and partied or tried to get to bed early. I tried to get to bed early, but unfortunately the fireworks that were set off in my village woke up my 4-year-old. She wasn't scared exactly, but it was pretty exciting, so it was at least 2 o'clock before we got any sleep last night. Today we had a lot of fun watching the Rose Parade. It's a tradition in Los Angeles that I grew up with, and I'm so glad I can watch it online with my kids because they love it just as much as I did. It is a little odd though, because in Los Angeles the Rose Parade happens first thing in the morning, so some years we would actually go down to Colorado Boulevard and watch it in person, but of course now that we live here in England it comes on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But I so associate this event with having breakfast that we always have pancakes for dinner while we watch the parade. New Year's Day, like any other holiday, is full of traditions. We have our celebrations, and it's pretty common for people to also have a New Year's resolution. I don't actually do New Year's resolutions because I've found that if there's something I know that I should be doing, I'm far more likely to achieve it if I don't just put it off to some arbitrary deadline. The thing that kind of broke me of any habit of having a New Year's resolution was working out at the gym. I've been a gym rat for most of my life, and every single January you'll see new people pour in. Now, these are people who obviously want to make a positive change. There's something they want to achieve in their lives, but for some reason they decided to put it off till January. I mean, you would think if you knew you needed to do something for your health or your mental well-being, that, maybe you would have gotten that gym membership a lot earlier instead of going, oh, you know what? I still really enjoy these bad habits, so I'm going to give myself permission to do those through December, and then when January rolls around, then I'll try to muster up the willpower to stop hurting myself by being too sedentary or eating and drinking the wrong things that I know are harmful for me. These people weren't really ready for the goal that they had in their mind, and so unsurprisingly, they show up for the first few weeks, kind of cause a lot of disruption because they tend not to learn the etiquette of a gym and all the regulars. It's not that we don't want to see more people coming in to exercise and things like that, but they can be very disruptive. They don't learn how to be polite. They don't bring the little towel so you can wipe your nasty back sweat off the equipment. And within a few weeks, most of them have quit because they didn't really know why they were there in the first place. They didn't have a plan to execute their vision. Now, you might be wondering, what on earth does any of this have to do with children's literature? And I promise I'm going to get to that and have a point. Each year on the show, since I started the audio podcast, I've kind of chosen a theme. It doesn't strictly apply to every single episode, but it's just something that kind of gives me something to tie the year together, a little bit of a focus. 2 years ago, I interviewed authors who are from Leicestershire, which is the absolutely beautiful county of England that I live in. That was a lot of fun, and I met some really, really interesting people. The year after that, 2024, I focused a little bit more on historical fiction. I really, really love historical fiction for kids, and good historical fiction can be a great way to get kids excited about history. Just bring it to life a little bit more. I still have a few more episodes that I want to do on that, and frankly, I'll never run out of topics in the field of historical fiction, but I also wanted to kind of pick a theme to wrap 2025 together. And I've been doing a lot of thinking, and what I settled on was that I would actually like to talk a little bit more about amateur and independent storytellers. I think it's great that these days, anyone can publish a book. There's quite a lot of self-publishing options, and many of them don't even cost you anything up front. But what I'd like to do is try to help amateur authors avoid being like the clueless noobs who join the gym in January without understanding what they're doing, only to quit in February, demoralized and depressed about not having achieved their goals. Anyone who's into health and fitness will understand that the key is integrating good food and enjoyable exercise into a lifestyle that doesn't last for days or weeks, but the rest of your life. You have to set small, realistic, attainable goals and then do something every single day to make progress toward those goals. Then over time, you'll notice the progress and be really proud of yourself. You learn to enjoy the work that you make toward your goals just as much as achieving them. I feel like all of this applies to writing. Since I started doing the show, I've received dozens of emails from independent authors hoping I would highlight their books. Until now, I've held off on doing that, partly because I didn't have the time to feature everybody and I didn't want to seem unfair by picking one unknown author over another. But I also have to admit that a lot of the books just weren't that good. It feels super mean saying that out loud, but it's true. These writers tended to have a vague plan of wanting to be a famous author in the same way that the January gym crowd has a vague plan of finally wanting to get healthy. But neither group had considered how to set a realistic goal and figure out an enjoyable and disciplined way to achieve that goal. I don't want to discourage any aspiring author, but I do want to help those who are sabotaging themselves and don't even know it. I'd like aspiring authors to be able to create a sustainable, lifelong pattern of creativity and help them really think about what achievable goals they might be able to attain. You can see where this is starting to relate to exercise. Those of us who like to work out at the gym, we have no illusions that we're going to be Olympians or famous athletes. That's not why we're there. In the same way, a lot of writers think maybe that they're going to be the next multi-millionaire franchise author, and to tell the truth, that's just not going to happen for almost every single one of us. But that doesn't mean that the writing you do has no value. Just as it's valuable for an older person or someone with injuries or someone who will never be super fit to go to the gym, it will always be valuable for writers to keep writing, telling stories, and sharing them with other people. What you should try to be as an author is the best you can be. You should do things that you enjoy, that you can sustain, that are going to help you live a happy, long, creative, and fulfilling life. So even though I don't believe in New Year's resolutions, I know a lot of you do. And I bet some of you have made a resolution to write a children's book. Whether or not you do resolutions, a new year is a good time to put your head up, look around and see where you've been, and take a fresh look at where you want to go. This year, I not only want to have episodes about amateur writers, but I'm hoping also to put together some live streams where I can bring in people who know a lot more about this subject than I do, so that all of those of you who want to write for children can avoid making amateur mistakes and be the best storytellers that you can be. I believe we all have stories to tell. Whether it's a joke shared by a campfire or a full-length novel, we've all got something in us to share. These stories don't have to be international bestsellers in order to be valuable. I'll have more to say about all of this soon, but for now, I just wanted to wish you a happy new year and good luck in whatever endeavors you've decided to turn your mind to. Oh, and if you did get a gym membership, just please remember to bring one of those little towels so you can wipe down the equipment when you're done using it. If you do that, all of us gym rats will welcome you with open, sweaty arms.